Him aus Finnland Frontmann Ville Valo hat sich mit seinen 2 Alben Greatest Love Songs Volume 666 und Razorblade Moments, den dazugehörigen Touren und Festivalauftritten vor allem in Deutschland eine große Fangemeinde erarbeitet. Während sie sich selbst als negative Version von Bon Jovi bezeichnen, gelten sie einfach als Skandinaviens Gothic Rock Band Nummer 1. Am 27.08. erscheint nun das 3. Album Deep Shadows and Brilliant Highlights. Wie Him sich selbst und die Welt um sie herum sehen, heute bei MTV Masters.
People don't like it, then they can piss off, you know. We can't do, we're not whores. We're not kind of selling ourselves in that way that we want to, you know, please everybody by what we're doing. Anyway, that's impossible, so it's kind of just funny and entertaining when people don't like it. You know, I like the things what we're doing. It's easy to have sex or get a partner from wherever. Anybody can do it. Mige's got a few problems with it, but
yeah.
You can, you know, we don't get any drugs free, and because we are in a rock and roll band, we are not being approached by more beautiful ladies, which would be a lot more intelligent than the ones we've known before or outside from the rock and roll genre. Yeah, it's just fun anyway. Yeah, it's nice to play. It's nice to play anyway, and then it's nice to perform in front of people.
I did it all just for her. I did it all just for her.
A human being is basically able to play any instrument, but what it sounds like is a different point. You know? I think everybody just ends up there, you know. You just start doing it, you find that you like it, you know. I mean, of course, you know, when you're a kiddie, you dream of whatever, become a policeman or become a whatever, one member of Kiss. But I don't think it's like serious, you know, like need to express yourself. It's more like kiddie fantasies, so everybody has them, so I don't consider them to be nothing to do with really urge to play. I think you have to do it first before you know what it's about, and then you can feel the desire to do that.
For the cruelty of love, while it serpents to sacral streams and waterfalls.
We are pretty much fortunate to make a living out of it, so usually it doesn't end up like we have ended up, in a nice way. You can end up doing, like, you know, working hard and, you know, drinking a lot and whatever. They are sad stories sometimes for a rock band.
I don't know how come Marilyn Manson, we don't have anything in common, not musically or not visually. But Elvis wore makeup. What's the point? You know, really, same with Placebo. There's nothing in common musically. It's like that. No, in the 80s we were a bit younger. We listened to like Duran Duran, Bon Jovi and Alice Cooper's Poison, stuff like that. Which more like the 80s hard rock. It's a good band. They've got brilliant, you know, brilliant like anthems back in the day in the 80s. Everybody liked that band, and it's part of my musical growing up. I like the old album still, but the new stuff is not.
New albums are horrible. New album is totally crap.
Yeah, I've been playing plenty of covers.
Yeah.
When I was playing drums, we did Iggy Pop's Passenger, and
we played National Acrobat actually from Black Sabbath.
That's playing Jane's Addiction, stuff like that. Plenty of different.
Well, we played a set of, you know, like those 80s pop classics, like Take My Breath Away and stuff like that.
Pop song is a popular song. It's not a genre of music. It's wherever it's popular. So basically we're a pop band because Join Me in Death was quite popular. Or that song was a pop song. And the others that didn't do so well, they were rock songs.
I put it on when I go to sleep and I touch myself. No, 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 no. Oh, I'm sorry about that. But it's true. Oh, it was... You're supposed to say stuff like that when you're playing a band, you know. You're not supposed to talk about flowers and butterflies. Oh, actually you are nowadays because of the Crazy Town, but...
Oh, Crazy Town, yeah.
Come, my lady.
Come, my lady. It's terrible shit. You know, but usually songs about butterflies and whatever, they don't have any depth. They're not really usually deep songs. They're like throwaway, shitty pop, which is not music for my ears. It's manufactured to, you know, for taking the money and running away. I'm not really into it. I can't understand it, you know. I don't know where the line goes, but like the Deftones, they're quite good. Because I like their sound, they're melodic, and they have some, you can listen to that stuff. And it's not aggressive just for the sake of being aggressive, like bands like Slipknot and Korn are. They're not really kind of like a,
It went away.
it went away.
It doesn't matter if the song is good, it doesn't matter what genre it represents. So I don't care if there's a shitty Limp Bizkit song. It doesn't make me feel any better that it's, you know, like it has hard guitars in it, rather than if they listen to shitty Aqua song, for example. It's quite the same. If you listen to shit, then you listen to shit. It doesn't matter if it made by
I'd always see Madonna and Depeche Mode there on top of the charts than, and Robbie Williams than Limp Bizkit.
It's my opinion. I like Robbie Williams.
I like Madonna.
I like, what was the third? I forgot. I like the third option.
Wie alles begann, warum aus His Infernal Majesty Him wurde, wie Wille die Liebe und den Tod sieht, was Gemüse und Tennisschläger für eine Rolle in der Geschichte von Him spielten, im zweiten Teil von MTV Masters.
Well, it's hard. We were pretty young, I'd say, all of us. So it's hard to define an exact moment that, now I'm into music. I think, well, like everybody, you know, we started listening to music and then we started, you know, building instruments out of, you know, groceries and stuff like that.
Tennis bats.
Tennis bats, you know, whatever. It's like, you know, that's how it always goes, I think.
My parents, they thought that they're going to put me in a music school, and that's what happened, you know. It's all because of Jallo.
Yeah, and Najabing.
And Ajabing, yeah. I didn't like it at first that much. It was kind of nice, but it was nokkapille.
Nokkahuilu.
Nokkahuilu.
You know, like flute. Not real flute.
They made us, you know, sing and, you know, play funny flutes. We didn't like it. I can't play flute, you know, classical instruments that well. I can play a bit of saxophone.
Yeah.
And guitar and bass are basically the same. But I have so big fingers that it's hard for me to play guitar, so I used to play bass for years and years, and drums, and then started singing. Then I just had to quit the music school thing, you know, got too theoretical. It wasn't nice anymore, you know. When it comes to having classes, like how to write a hit song, well, all the glass-eyed wankers are there, you know, listening to Beatles and analysing it and, like trying to make a hit song, like, theoretically. Then it kind of came like, you know, I couldn't take it anymore.
It's fascinating that there are people like, you know, mathematicians who are analysing music, which I think is kind of sick. They never, well, it's interesting, yeah, but they never come to any conclusion.
I'm concentrating straight into the core of a song, rather than the dressing all over it. My first band was called Blood, and we did only one song in our set, which was Iron Maiden's Running Free, but an instrumental version. Like. We only did one performance, which was during music class when I was about 9 or 10. Well, I was into Wasp and Twisted Sisters and stuff like that. It seemed to be a really clever name at that point. I had a band where I was playing drums called Chemotherapia, and Linda, a guitar player, was in the same band as well when we were about 13, 14. And then they just didn't write any songs, and I had to do a couple of songs. I didn't write any lyrics or anything like that for it, but I just did a really shitty rip-off thing from Smells Like Teen Spirit, and that was the first song I did. No, it was more because of a need. because we wanted to have bands, but nobody was writing any music, so I had to do it. Same with singing for this band. Couldn't find a singer, but we could find a bass player. Originally, I was supposed to be the bass player. We tried to find singers, but there was none, and he just...
I hired myself,
yeah,
as they say.
Kinda. We were sitting in her larder, my mother's larder.
Oh, yeah.
And listened to Black Sabbath, and then we had the idea that we want to have a band. And we called it His Infernal Majesty at first. And it was a funny band because we had a drummer called Tarvosen Juha and a drummer called Juippi, and two Finnish guys. And we had two basses in the band. So no guitars or anything like that at all. It was totally different. It was kind of like Black Sabbath thing. We did it for a couple of years, and then he went into art. During one summer night, we were sitting on some terrace with Linda, the guitar player, and then we just decided to start up a band. And then we went into recording a demo, and I played the drums on the demo, and he played and sang on the demo, and excuse me, and we just did it to find ourselves a better singer and to find ourselves a drummer. But then he ended up being that I was to become the singer.
And the distance between us seems to grow, but your heart dead on strong.
There wasn't an exact date when it all happened. Like now we're calling ourselves him, and now it's starting. You know. It just happened, you know, by accident.
Oh. Truth hurts, you know. This is probably the first time that the true story comes out. Feels good. Oh.
And oh my God, it's so hard to let go, so hard to let go. I'm waiting for your call, I'm ready to take your 666 goodbye home.
No, my daddy and my mummy, they were paying my rent at the time because I was just trying to write some songs and trying to get the band together, you know. So I didn't really work at any point. I was in school to a certain point, and then I quit school, and my parents helped me out money-wise.
Well, I've been working in a couple of places. First, like, all kind of shitty job. Working a building site for a while. And then I collected shit from the streets. Which is fascinating. They call it gardening, but basically collect shit. But it's a valuable work, otherwise people would drown in dog poo. Someone has to collect it, so I did it.
It didn't work because I was so young. Because it's like a psychological job, and you have to talk with the customers. They want different things, you know. And you have to know everything about everything, and it was quite weird, like selling anal beads and like butt plugs when you don't have your own experience at that time. Or at least I didn't. It starts to get a bit numb when you're there. I don't know how my daddy-o can take it. Which is a bit weird, but a freak himself, but it's well, anyway, it's strange, you know, being in a small box, you know, like 10 hours in a row, with like dildos hanging everywhere and just, you know, porno everywhere. Just porno. Like humongous cocks and sperm and, you know, big titties and Asian babes and handcuffs. It's kind of weird. It was nice also as an experience. It sounds a lot more entertaining, a lot more fascinating than it really was.
Back then when we listened to Sabbath, so we wanted to make a, you know, funky horror name. And then later on, it became a bit ridiculous to be called His Infernal Majesty. So, and anyway, we couldn't pronounce it. His Infernal Majesty.
Your sweetest torment, I'm lost, and no heaven can help us.
Pronounce it in Finland, so which
But
was
still,
great.
we're doing quite well as being his Ville Valo. So it
Yeah.
was easy for people. Anyway, people were calling us him because it was hard to pronounce it and hard to remember. So everybody was calling him. Then we got certain kind of club stages there, so we didn't want to change the name completely because we had been playing some gigs around. So we just shortened
Actually,
it.
made the first EP was still under name His Infernal Majesty.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So we wanted to maintain our fan base, which was like 200 people, maybe.
I'd say 20.
Yeah, 20 were fans, but whatever.
There wasn't any rock things happening in Helsinki, and one of our friends, that Tony fellow, he just started working on millions of clubs, renting different places and stuff like that, and then we just got to know him. I worked for him in there, and like an assistant and stuff like that, and then we just made him to take us on the bill, one club, and then then it happened again, and then again, and then again.
Wanna give up, 'cause there's no smile of an angel without the wrath of God.
Because they get plenty of demos, my friend kind of like brought the tape especially for the boss and said that you got to take a listen to this, really, and listen to the whole demo and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but we just made the demos, got the deal, and we made an EP, and then and a couple of albums, and here we are. It's really simple. But we've just been working. There wasn't any big problems at any stage of the career or whatever.
I never wrote a song, or I wrote, but it's not for me. It's not my cup of tea. I don't find the idea, entertaining. Maybe because he does it. He does it better than I do. So why should I at this point?
They're more like thoughts. They're not so. They're more like abstract things. They're more about the life of the soul, which is kind of infinite in a way. And the mind plays tricks on you, and the mind, you think about the same things over and over again. It doesn't really matter where you are, or what you have done, or what you haven't been doing, or whatever. So it's not so material. I like watching movies. I like reading, books and stuff like that. But no, it doesn't influence me that much. It's like the same with sounds. And when you have the right sound, it's the right sound. It doesn't matter whether it reminds us of another artist or whether it sounds totally something else. It's the same with lyrics. They just sound good and they feel right. And that's the magic behind it. Death is not physical death. Death is just like a moment when you've lost yourself. And heaven is a moment when you've found yourself and you find yourself, happy at the moment. That's about it. It's just a couple of keywords. Just tend to, when I was a kid, I loved like H.P. Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe. And I like those things. It's nice English. Heaven is the moment of clarity, of tranquility, of balance. Heaven is a moment in this life. Heaven can be down on earth when it comes to my lyrics, at least. So it doesn't have anything to do with afterlife or with religious ideas or whatever. If somebody's wearing black clothes and black lipstick, it doesn't necessarily mean that she or he is on the dark side of life.
I love your skin.
You should come to a gig and see when people are singing along and shaking their hips and smiling. That's pretty uplifting.
Nothing to do with the dark side, I'm afraid. Sad if it disappoints some people.
Love is a strong word and death is a strong word. But it's not necessarily about, like, like, join me is not about suicide or anything like that, you know. They're just strong words which are nice to be used because they bring... It's like association games. They bring many things over to the readers or the listeners' minds, you know, hopefully.
Die 5 Nordlichter spielen auf Bühnen quer durch ganz Europa. Der Wodka ist dabei ihr ständiger Begleiter. Ausgerechnet bei der Einreise nach Russland gab es aber Zollprobleme.
We were supposed to be playing a gig in St. Petersburg, but it never happened because the customs had plenty of problems there on the border of Russia and in Narva. Then we couldn't get in on time and we had to cancel our show in St. Petersburg, but we made it to Moscow for the next day. It was funny. Basically, the architecture is quite beautiful, but like there's really poor people and then there's really rich people, no people in between. So it's kind of weird when if you have money, you don't have to. You probably own the police or whatever, and if you don't have money, you know, you're willing to kill a man for a piece of bread, you know. So it's really weird.
So please don't let it, please don't let it go. 'Cause if you won't let it, I won't let it go. So please don't let it, please don't let it go.
Our manager, Seppo Olavi-Vesterin, gets a lot of email from Russia, which is kind of when he gets a lot of email, then you know that you should go and play. All countries are nice, you know. There's no particular place apart from America, of course, where we have a, you know, that's where we want to go. Really, that's the only reason I keep on playing, is to become American citizen. But there's no particular place that that we would want to go and play. Because all the places tend to be quite the same, and it's always nice to go to a new place.
Him waren in den letzten 2,5 Jahren fast ständig auf Tour. Lediglich Amerika haben sie noch nie besucht. Interessanterweise sind Him aber gerade in der amerikanischen Skate-Szene extrem beliebt.
We've been getting a couple of emails.
There's bubbling under, as our manager said, Paul Olavi-Vesterin is claiming. So we're gonna make it. We're gonna be bigger than Bon Jovi in America.
Yeah, sure. We are basically already.
Oh, we are. Email.
Nobody just knows about it.
We get more email than Bon Jovi from America.
I wouldn't call it luxury. I'd call it freedom. It's really nice when you don't have to think about paying your bills and you don't have to think, what am I going to do tomorrow, or you know, blah blah blah. There's so much to do. And we just get the schedules and we're like robots, just like obeying the orders.
He said it's not alright. Let me be so dead and gone, so far away from life.
It's kind of easy in that way.
Can't seek freedom.
Well,
Unhealthy freedom.
Well, it's not. It's not free freedom. Anyway, you don't have to think about so many things. You can read a book, fall asleep, wake up the next morning, have breakfast, go with the bus to the next city, do a couple of interviews, and then do the gig, and the same thing, like for about, you know, an eternity.
fits to all kinds of relationships. I mean, it's like when you really trust a person, then you can relieve yourself and fire. You know what I mean? Especially with boy and girl relationships.
Well, there's difference between cities, but not really between countries. People look a bit different, yeah, but you know, it's the same like here in Germany. There's plenty of cities that are totally different, you know, when it comes to audience. But it's always good, yeah. Some people like to listen to the music, and some people like to dance to the music, and some people like to sing along with the music, and some people just go there for drinking, and some people just go there for other reasons. There's plenty of reasons for people anyway to check out, you know, live bands. So.
Is it so hard to believe our hearts are made to be broken by love? That in endless crashing lights and the beauty of it all.
No, I can't feel the nationality. I don't so much believe in nationalities of people.
Well, if they're shouting for encores, then you can hear the nationality.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hear them, yeah. But not nationality, you can hear the language. But it might be a, you know, some kind of a, you know, invader.
Okay.
Spy. Learn the language and pretend to be some nationality and stuff like that.
Okay.
Or at least you could try. For this one last time.
For me, it's been funny because I've been performing with, like, I was in music school, so I've been performing since I was about 9 years old. Just kind of, I'm not thinking about the whole thing.
Well, of course
You kind of like tend to, the best gigs are with the ones you don't remember. When you come off the stage, you can't remember, you know, what you've been doing there. You remember bits and pieces. That's usually the best. That's when you get carried away with your music. So then you're not thinking about, you know, you're not checking out what kind of people there are in there, or think about stupid things, technical things, or whatever. No, it's just magical.
Oh, at least you could try. For this one last time.
There's always a couple of people showing their middle fingers or whatever during the gigs, but that's really weird, you know. People are paying for tickets to get in, and if I don't like a band, I'm definitely not buying tickets and get into a place where there's music which I really hate, and then just go there, show my middle finger. So it's kind of sad and mad. Of course, there's a set list. Now, unfortunately, we've got, like, at the moment, we've got the new keyboard player, Burton. He's just been in the band like 3 months. So he really hasn't had the time to rehearse all of our material. Same goes with Gaz, which is the drummer, the fat one. Well, he is fat. He's big.
Fact.
He's big. He accepts it, and you know. But whatever.
He always comes to this one.
Yeah, he always comes to this, but Gaz doesn't remember songs. He's old.
That's
strange. That's strange. So basically what we're doing is always, when we say it's like 1 hour and 15 minutes, we try to play those songs that we feel that people want to, you know, hear and listen to and, you know, see. We have only like 2 albums so far. Now the 3rd one's coming out, and And we don't have so much material. Anyway, we have to play Wicked Game, and we have to play Join Me in the... And we have to play Poison Girls, and we have to play the songs which been the singles which people have been liking the most. So basically that's it. We can't really improvise much with it.
The Robert Plant and Jimmy Page, they didn't play so many of those, you know, like Led Zeppelin songs, for example. They just played, you know, the new stuff that they've been doing together, but everybody who went there wanted to see the Led Zeppelin stuff. So.
Black Sabbath, they've been playing Paranoid for like 30 years, so...
Mm. And it's still also his favorite song.
Yes.
Well, I think he's lying.
Probably.
It can't be.
I prefer clubs. They're nicer. Usually you have your own lights there. Usually it's a bit more intense, a bit more sweaty. And basically, when you're playing club gigs, then people have been coming there to see you. And on festivals, people are there to have a good time too. It's a totally different situation. Festivals are nice as well, but
it's kind of horrible to play in a daylight, I have to admit. I thought it would be fun, but it's not.
oh,
It's nicer to have light because we have a very, very good light engineer.
it's a dangerous thing because if you, for example, with bands like Rammstein, I don't know if they've started touring now, but once they did all the, you know, the ejaculate, the like dildo what he had on, all the fireworks and shit like that, people are going to be disappointed if they don't do it again. So it's basically like an endless circle. If you get into that, you have to do it always. It sounds a bit more American. There's a difference between European music and American music. The sound
We've been
wise.
using some American helpers with it.
So that's probably the reason it sounds a bit more American. We've been producing ourselves with a Finnish guy called TT. We're doing like almost all of the album. And then there's been like additional production added on by John Fryer and then a guy called Kevin Shirley, an American fellow, and then Kevin did. I'm not sure what's going to be ending up being on the album, but he kind of like produced one song, which is Pretending. Basically, what he did in the studio was that he changed the arrangement around a bit.
Yeah, it's funny because everybody always has to mention a band in a certain category, which is, I don't know, it's some strange necessity, and you have to do it, and it's never really, you never come up with anything smart.
I say U2, Black Sabbath, Bon Jovi, and Depeche Mode. A mixture of those could be our band.
My darling, we are not the ones to blame.